Hello, thanks for joining us today. We're going to get started in just a couple minutes. I'm going to open up a poll right now. And if you could please answer that, that would be great. We're going to use that information to inform our presentation today. If you're new to Zoom webinars, you can't be seen, your video is not on, and you're also muted. So just know that you are safely isolated and no one else can see you. Great, thanks for filling out our poll. We're getting more answers. If you're just joining us, we're going to get started in a couple minutes, but for now, know that you can't be seen or heard on the Zoom webinar. It's a little bit different than a meeting. We have the chat box, and Kendra is monitoring the chat box along with Anna and I today, and we'll be happy to take your questions and try to answer them as we go along. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're going to get started in just one more minute. We have a poll happening right now. If you could please answer our question about how familiar you are with Kikori, and hopefully we'll be able to make you more familiar with it after this webinar. Just so you know, the Zoom webinars, you cannot be seen or heard. Your video is off and your mute is muted. If you have questions throughout the webinar, we can answer them. Feel free to ask in the chat or in the Q&A, and we will get to them as we can.
Where is the chat?
Maybe you can't see it because you're muted.
Thanks everyone for answering our poll as we get started here. In the chat box, make sure if you want everyone to see what you're saying, you make sure it says all panelists and attendees and not just all panelists. If you want it just to come to the panelists, make sure you say just panelists on there. Great. It's 3:01. We're going to go ahead and get started. And as we get more and more people logged on here, we'll keep it moving. We're happy to have everyone on today. These webinars are the COVID-19 series for the Association for Experiential Education. I'm Sherry Bagley. I'm the Executive Director of AEE, and we are providing this series for our community to help during this time of crisis. We have provided several webinars throughout the last couple weeks, and they're all recorded and available on our website, www.aee.org. Also, we have a community resource library on our website that we're continually updating and adding new things, activities, information about small business loans, mental health help. So anything and everything, hopefully, that you need. If you have information that you'd like us to add to it, please feel free to email us. We're happy to add things on there. We're also happy to have other webinars. If you have ideas about a webinar, if there's something that you all need that we can provide information on, please let us know that. My email is Sherry, SHERRY, at aee.org. And you can email me with your ideas, or if you want to prevent something, that would be great too. We have just a couple more webinars in the works for next week, and we'll be giving information out about those very soon. We also have a roundtable coming up on Monday. That's an open forum for folks to share and talk and just kind of get together with our experiential ed community. So that's happening, and we'll continue to do those throughout the following weeks. Those will also be we'll break those into smaller and more specific groups after this week. We're just getting started this week. So after that, we'll possibly have some focused on K through 12 schools or things like that. So again, thank you all for attending today. We have Bryn, Lottig, and Kendra Bostick today. They are Kikori, and they're gonna share with us all about it. They've also made this app available to everyone. It's in the beta stages right now, but if you're interested in taking a look at it and uploading it to your phone, you can do that. They've put in the chat where it's available, I think. And so if you wanna follow along on the app as they go, you can do that. We're gonna end our poll now. So if you haven't checked in with our poll about how familiar you are with it, you can have about 30 more seconds. And I'm gonna end it and share the results. So it looks like we have a good amount of people who have heard something about it somewhere, so that's great. And for those of you who ran on shows on Netflix, I'm sure this will be just as entertaining. So Bryn and Kendra, I'm gonna let you take it away.
Friends, I'm so excited to be able to show this to you. I can't thank Sherry and the AEE enough for this opportunity. So go COVID. Anyway, my name is Bryn Lottig, and I'm going to walk you through a Kikori 101. So my setup, I do have a computer right here with another monitor over this way. So I just wanted to let you know that if my eyes glance that way, I'm just looking at that. To get us started, I wanted to just go over a general plan. To sign up now, you can follow along with us to sign up for the beta by clicking on the link that Kendra is going to put in the chat box. So Kendra will be moderating the chat as I go through our pitch deck, or our slides. We're gonna just talk quick about who we are, then we're gonna play a game, we'll do a reflection, connection, and then another sort of problem-solving initiative as a group. If you haven't signed up yet, follow that link in the chat. If you have trouble, we will go over using a video some of the test flight information. Apple uses a platform called Test Flight that you would need to download as well. And sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. For some people, it's a little bit more intuitive, whereas Android, in this case, which is not usual, is much simpler. So Kendra will be adding people as quickly as we can throughout this webinar so that you can play along with us. But if not, we will make sure that everybody gets set up at the end. And I promise everything that we're gonna go over in this webinar, you can just focus on what's happening right here, right now, and catch up on your phone later. So a beta is a pre-released version of software, in this case it's our app, that is made available for testing to a limited number of users outside of the company that's developing it to test under real conditions before its general release. So this is our invitation to you as a backstage pass to see what we've been working on the last couple of years and get your feedback. We want to hear everything there is to hear about it, but know that it's not perfect. It's not released to the public, and this is us as facilitators being vulnerable to you, letting you in and seeing and sharing, but it's also very important to us because this is a community-driven thing, and you guys are our people that are going to help test under those real conditions. I'm gonna let Kendra introduce me, and then I will introduce her in a minute.
Yay! All right, so I am very excited to get to introduce Bryn Lottig to you all. Since I met Bryn, she has helped me to stay grounded and be able to laugh and talk about things instead of just be focused. Bryn has a beautiful family. So her husband's name is Noah. He is standing right beside her right now to make sure that everything goes okay. He also helps us late at night with any tech fixes that we need. And two awesome little boys named Meyer and Corbin. And a fun fact about Bryn is that she actually is a pilot. That was her dream before, and then 9/11 happened, and she ended up spending, I think, 6 months traveling and backpacking with her professors around Australia, New Zealand, and Southeast Asia, which got her really, really into the outdoors. And since she has worked at Camp Manitowish, she leads kayaking tours, and she is also currently the adventure coordinator at an expeditionary learning school in northern Wisconsin, where she lives.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for such a great introduction, Kendra. I want you guys to meet my business partner, Kendra. Kendra and I met in grad school with Carla Hacker, and when I met her, I had no idea what type of journey we were going to go on together. But Kendra has shown me that it's okay to dream big and nothing is impossible. And even if it's hard, to go after the big, big things. So she was a social worker in Chicago for 6 years in the Chicago public schools. Before she kind of burned out on that and wanted to do some more permanent travel. She had spent quite a bit of time traveling internationally, teaching English and helping out with underserved populations. And when she started looking at moving out of Chicago, her and her partner Eric settled on Santiago. So she lived in Santiago, Chile for a little over 2 years before coming back to the States to pursue a PhD. So she's currently in New Hampshire getting a PhD. And we've been working on this project together, long distance, since before virtual COVID was a requirement. So we've been navigating multiple time zones and hanging out virtually for a while. But her passion is making sure that there's equal access to education for all. And it was her passion that really got me excited to join and create this company with her. So we met, like I said, in Carla Hacker's master's program, and we shared a tent together when we went on a backpacking trip out in Wyoming. And so the one where we're doing this is from Wyoming. Kendra, do you want to talk about the other picture?
Yeah, so when we were when I was living in Chile, Bryn came and visited me. I'd actually gone to Patagonia previously with my significant other, Eric, and some of his friends, and they wanted to do the lazy Patagonia. And so we did day trips, and Bryn said that she really wanted to come and she wanted to go. And I was like, all right. And so we went and we did the back part of the Torres del Paine, which is in Patagonia. And we learned a lot about packing, and that, you know, a block of cheese a day makes us feel happy, but it's heavy. And so it was just an awesome trip, and awesome to be able to have her with me in Chile.
So Kendra's going to talk about her why she started this as a project.
Yes. So if you're going to go, you can go to the next slide. Yeah, perfect. All right. So I worked as a school social worker, as Bryn said. And before that, while I was getting my master's in social work, some wonderful social workers brought me up to the AE, and I did the Therapeutic Adventure Professionals group. And for 3 days, as many of you know who's on this call, it's absolutely transformative, life-changing, and I really never went back. So working in a school, teachers would come to me with, problems with their kids' emotions and behavior issues in the classroom. And I used to tell them, there's this thing that you can do. There are these activities and these ways you can help kids really connect and, reflect on how they're treating each other and build community. And while teachers love the ideas of these activities, it was really difficult for them. There's a lot of pressure on teachers to, check every box and follow the standards and with testing. And so you can go to the next slide. And so this isn't just in the school that I worked in. We've been, doing some research on this, and there was a national survey put out that in reality, it's not just the schools I worked in, but 95% of principals want to incorporate social emotional learning programs into their schools, but only 25% of schools actually are. Click next. And so we talked with a whole bunch of teachers. We're like, why is this? What is going on? What is so difficult in, bringing in these activities and making classes, more connected. And what we found was that teachers are really lacking time. So the time to plan, time within their schedule. They don't know how to facilitate these activities. They didn't learn that. And then also the activities ended up being seen as sort of this fluffy extra that they did at the beginning of the year or when kids came back from spring break, and that they would need activities to be aligned so that way they could fit them into their curriculum. Yeah, sorry. And so that was sort of where we came up with the idea of Kikori and how we could turn these activities that we love and know the power of, some people call it that black box, but how can we support educators in using these activities so that way we can have more of it and really help our students who are facing a lot of challenges, even before all of this, with, anxiety and depression and a lot of the issues that have been going on in schools.
So I have a history of working in the outdoors. So I was a kayak guide long before I started working at Camp Manitowish. And I started working at Camp Manitowish in their leadership program. And in the leadership program, we have a low and a high ropes course, so our challenge course, but then we also take school groups, community, like youth centers, all kinds of programs on canoeing, backpacking, and kayaking trips. So we have a tripping program as well as challenge course. And I love playing with kids outside. I love it. It's my very favorite thing to do. I like making them laugh and work together in ways that they've never done before. But really, it all comes down to the learning, right? So my jam is the debrief at the end and seeing adventure programming just as a medium to teach social emotional learning. And to get the kids to think about and talk about the ways that they're trusting each other, the ways that they're communicating, to see those light bulb moments. It just gets me so giddy. But oftentimes, and for those of you that lead similar type programming, I'm sure you know that there's a handful of grown-ups who, as the activities are being run, give you looks like this. And they don't understand. They think it's fluff. They think you're playing. They think you're wasting time. Or they do see the value in it, but then when I ask them to lead the debrief, they freak out and they don't feel like they're able to facilitate that discussion. And so my why is that we know that experiential education is powerful. And when Kendra and I met and she told me her idea for an app, I said, oh my gosh, yes, of course I want an app that's an activities database that I can use and help me do my job better. But when I really thought about it, like that wasn't enough. I also wanted a tool for teachers to help facilitate those breakthrough moments and build on the foundation that I established out on those challenge courses or doing that adventure programming. Because I'll get kids for anywhere from a couple hours to a couple of days, but I'm not with them every day. And if I'm not there to help build on that foundation and recall some of that stuff, the learning stops there. And I wanted to help further this field, further those breakthroughs and build on that social emotional learning that we laid that foundation doing any of the adventure programming. So the 3 core goals of what we've created is to support facilitators in promoting their activities, support teachers in doing more experiential ed activities in their classrooms or schools, but then also to create a space for facilitators and teachers to connect, grow, and co-create. We've got a fun activity that we're going to try out virtually. I don't think I mentioned this before, but even though I've done tons of Zoom meetings, I've never led a webinar. So we will see how this goes. We're going to play a virtual 4 corners. And what's going to happen is Kendra is going to put a link in the chat and you're going to place yourself. So I want you to, in your head, ask yourself, how comfortable are you with technology on a scale of 1 to 4? The 1 being very uncomfortable, like it took you forever to figure out a VCR and now you can't handle the new advancements of technology, all the way to, I am not willing to be apart from my digital leash and I even take it with me in the shower. So figure out how you're going to place yourself. And then what's going to be really exciting is the initiative part of it is you're going to click on the link in the chat box, and then you're going to put your name in the corner that best represents how you're feeling about tech. If you'd like to use a pseudonym, you're more than welcome to do that. But the rules are that every name needs to fit on the screen, and you can only touch your own name, and any form of communication is allowed. So use your resources. And then I'm going to back up just as a reminder for what those things are. It looks like the link's not working according to the chat box. It worked when we tested it.
You can copy and paste it.
Oh, so copy and paste. Don't, okay. It's not a hyperlink. There we go. So copy and paste.
Sorry, guys.
Yep. Go ahead, Kendra, maybe throw it in there again.
So many animals, I know, right? I was like, oh yeah, no, there's an anonymous axolotl. You guys, Google is crazy. What? If you copy and paste, how can you add your name? See if you can get into it. Oh, this is so exciting. See if you can get into it, Lucinda, and let us know if you still need a question, if you still have questions.
So if a couple of people, if it's just not working for you, that's okay. Do your best. Again,
do you want to share?
Do I want to share?
Share the link so people can see what's happening if they aren't able to. Ooh, there you go. Tap KS3.
I don't think I can. My computer screen is all full of other things. Yeah, I'd have to I can escape out of the presentation and then show it and then get back in.
Yeah, do that.
Or I can do it, Bryn.
Oh yeah, you do it. Thanks, Sherry.
You're welcome. Let me just make sure I have it.
Looks like people are working hard.
Yeah.
Making it work. Lucinda, you figured it out. Anonymous squirrel. Ken, I'm an anonymous squirrel. And my name is Kendra.
There we go.
Oh, look at all my friends. Oh, poor Lisa got bumped out of her square.
Lisa, I'm a 3, can't fit. Are there any 4s? 4s?
Yeah.
You can email us and hang out every evening of the week if you like.
All right, so maybe just another 30 seconds or so. What? You want me to do what? Okay.
Guys, I see a
I'm gonna
message
try
in
and
the
move it
chat.
over here.
Yes, we can share it again.
For any of you that are still working on trying to download the app, it's not in the App Store. And the reason it's not in the App Store is because we're still in beta. So beta means we are not live. We have not gone to production. I just tried to answer a couple of questions in the Q&A.
Lucinda, sorry.
But that's really funny, Lucinda. But anyway, so your window of opportunity to fill in on the Google form is closing. I still see a couple of anonymous animals going, and pow. All right, let's stop with the Google and go back to our slideshow. So I'm gonna steal it back from you, Sherry. Share my screen. All right, so does everybody see? Oh, there's a comment about being unable to join the Zoom. This is just a reminder. I don't recall if it was stated before, but we are recording, and this will be available on the AEE website. So if you have to leave early, or if you do see something that you want to share with somebody else, it will be available in the future. So anyway, so here we are back at our virtual 4 corners. That's our prep slide. Here's our play slide. And here's our reflection slide. So something that's really important to Kendra and I is that all of our activities follow the experiential learning cycle. So most of us very familiar preaching to the choir if I'm talking about the importance of reflection, but our reflections are the what, so what, now what? And how we have identified those as a company is the play, reflect, connect, and then grow. So, Kendra, do you want to lead our reflection?
Yes. Yeah, so, okay guys. So in order to reflect on this, and how you felt during this challenge, we're going to ask you to use one more piece of technology. So what we have been using for our photos that we found is a site called www.unsplash.com. These offer free pictures, and then you can give credit to the person that took them. And so on that Google slide sheet that you were at, the following rest of those slides, and you can create more and create as many as you want, that's not a problem. We want you to find a photo that represents your feelings during this activity. So this is 2 steps. Right now, go to www.unsplash.com and then find a photo that represents how you felt during this activity. You're going to put that photo onto the Google Slides. So Bryn, if you want to get back into the Google Slides.
Yeah, Sherry, can you reshare the Google Slides?
Yep, I can.
Thank you. So really often what Kendra and I have found is that when we do activities or watch other people in traditional schooling formats, a lot of times people will do the activity, but they don't often reflect on it. And I fell victim to that too. When I was first working in a challenge course, I would love to do the activity. I'm an extrovert and I'm an expressive, and so I love to just play. And it's hard sometimes for me to sit down and talk about it and think about, you know, what was going on, even for myself, much less to lead a group through that. And so we recognize that the unfamiliarity, the uncertainty, the uncomfortableness that comes around leading a reflection oftentimes is why some educators don't effectively lead the activities. Or it can be just that much more powerful if there's a good reflection at the end. I've been in a lot of scenarios where things go completely wrong. But if you're good at reflecting, you can turn it around. So, you know, if this activity ends up being a train wreck, then we can reflect on that.
Oh my goodness, this is really how you guys felt?
Oh my gosh.
Bryn, do you see
It's so fun.
Do you see the chat box?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, so there is lots and lots of feelings
What does it say?
about how this activity made you feel. That, or you guys are just really creative at finding photos.
It's Friday. I mean,
it is Friday.
People might be really enjoying their day. Just having to get on. They're like, whoa, what is in that girl's glass?
I don't know, but she looked really sad about it.
Did she?
I thought so.
I felt lost and now I'm more lost.
So I hope you guys are enjoying being able to express yourself through these photos in a webinar where it's so hard for me because I can't see your faces. I can't see your body language. And so this is a way to engage with you and what you're going through when I'm just looking at a camera. Oh, Ken, I'm so sorry that you feel lost and now you feel more lost. All right, we're gonna close this down in a few more minutes, maybe a minute. But I hope you guys are watching to see, you know, sort of the things that other people are sharing. Not just how you're feeling, but be aware of your peers and your colleagues and the way that they're trying to express their own things about this shared experience that we've had.
And I see Lucinda said, how do I get the image onto your screen? So if you take an image and you download it, Lucinda, and then you can put it onto your desktop, and from there you should just be able to put it right into the slide.
All right, and we're gonna go with that window of opportunity again. So here's your window.
Other ideas, insert, copy, paste.
And it's closing. All right. I'm gonna steal the screen back from Sherry. Oh, Sherry got out. Ta-da! Look at how magic we are. All right, so we're back in our slides. So that was our reflection, how did you feel during this challenge? So what strategies did you use that may be helpful to you with the app? And again, because we're in a webinar, you can either throw your answers to some of these questions in the chat box if you feel like sharing. Otherwise, some of this is just a personal reflection and some rhetorical questions. But what strategies did you use that might be helpful to you with the app? Something that Kendra and I are hoping is that you've now have a relationship with Unsplash as a website, as a resource, and we'll show you some opportunity that you might be able to use that within the app in a little bit. And then the grow, so the last stage in that experiential cycle, the now what? If you're able to go back and look at the four corners, I want you to look at the fours. Those are your go-to people. Those are the people that you're gonna ask for help. And maybe check out those ones. See if you can't build a relationship and help build that bridge and offer them some support. So we are a community and we help each other, and that's why we're in this webinar. That's why we're a part of this association. And I love that about us. So our goal with the rest of this webinar is to make you feel as close to a 4, so very comfortable with our app, Kikori. It's important to note that Kikori is a tool for teachers and facilitators. It's not an app for the students or the participants to engage with. What makes us a little bit more unique than some of the other activity databases out there is it's our goal to align with standards for teachers. So those include social emotional learning standards, 21st century skills, the UNESCO Sustainable Development Goals, and in the future, Common Core state standards.
Yeah, so one of the things that we have heard from tons of facilitators is that when we bring our activities to schools, that the people aren't valuing what we do, and that we need some way to provide some more legitimacy. And so we have used, as Bryn just stated, these different standards, so that way we can show that what we're doing is meeting these standards, because it 100% is. And so the social emotional learning standards has 5 different areas. It focuses on self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, relationship skills, and then social awareness. And then all of these are, so each activity is aligned with these different standards within the app. The 21st century skills, the main ones that really that we focus on are the learning and innovation skills. So those are the 4 C's: critical thinking, communication, collaboration, creativity, and life and career skills. And then as we add on more activities that are aligned with content, then we'll be able to bring in the key subject areas. The SDGs are the Sustainable Development Goals, and these are United Nations member states all got together and said this is our goal by 2030 to eliminate poverty. And so these are all of the different ways that they're doing so. We're really focusing on quality education, peace and justice and strong institutions, but really the activities that we do help so many of these different goals.
And then in the future, we're hoping to align with Common Core. We know that there's issues with Common Core, but it is what it is. And like we said, we want to make it legitimate for the schools to bring it in and help give the teachers something on a silver platter that shows them how it can meet standards and all of the social emotional needs that their students have as well. Before we get into the app, I want to just quick go over a few of our key features. We're going to be able to discover and search for activities. You're going to be able to save and organize activities into your own profile and playlists. You can also create activities and then publish and share them to the community. So I'm going to open up my phone.
And just to shout out, if you have Android, you should, and you've put your information in during this webinar, you should be able to go into the Google Play Store and see the Kikori app now. If you have Android, if you have an iPhone, then it's a little bit more of a process. You may have seen the email that we sent you, but we'll also go through how to get those, get it onto your phone with an iPhone at the end.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to share with you guys my phone and we'll go through the app. It goes through a little bit of a fussy authentication where I have to prove that I trust the computer. So here is our Kikori. Oh. All right, so there's a little bit of a lag when I share my phone, more so than anything else. But this is our main activities dashboard. In the activities dashboard, this is where you're going to explore and you're going to discover new activities. You can do a side swipe and see all of the recently added activities. When you swipe up, there's a category that has another swipeable carousel. And then a little farther down, it has all the different categories. So you can explore by clicking into one of the categories and then seeing all the different activities that have been listed within that category. And again, I'm talking slow to let my phone catch up. So we can go back out, go into a different category and see some more in there. I'm gonna click into the individual activities in just a moment, but first I wanted to highlight where the activities are coming from. The very bottom, you can see the creator profiles. This is another side swipe. So in here, we have everybody who's contributed activities to the app already. So Play for Peace is one of our founding partners. Play for Peace has been part of the app development since the very beginning, and we could not be thankful enough for everything that they've contributed. They're an international organization. Kendra volunteered with them a number of times, but their international presence is wonderful. We also have our friend Marilyn Levin. And what's great about this little activity, this creator profile, is you can see in here there's a link, and that link works. So if we scroll over here to Daniel Cape, you can see all of the different links that he has put into his profile so that you can learn more about him if you like the activities that he's submitted. It's great because it offers a way for you to follow and keep up with the different creators. So This is a really community.
Oh, looks like Bryn froze. So you guys, welcome to my biggest nightmare. Here we are. And I don't know if she'll get out and then get back in, but I can continue with where she was at and show you guys from my phone. I do not have the capability to show it as fancy as she does, but that's okay. Let's see. So she was just showing you within some of the different, within the different creators. And then what she is going to be showing you next is that if you have the app up at the top, there is a little, what is that, a magnifying glass and a funny little button, and those are the search and filter features. And so if we hit the filter, see, actually, I guess if you hit the search, so if you hit the search, then it goes in here. And right now you can search by the name, by the title of the app, and also by the description. If you hit this little button, that's a filter. And then you can see in here that you can filter by all of the different pieces of the activity. And so we have the energy level. So you can, if you want a calmer energy activity, that's a 1 lightning bolt. If you want kids to be moving, but not necessarily running, then that's a 2nd lightning bolt. And then you've got 3, which is where kids are really moving. Bryn, yes, I let them know that they are welcome to my one thing I said no. Okay, and next we've got the categories. So Bryn, if you just want to pull it up on your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
okay.
no
Yeah.
crashes at my house, and that's what living in the Northwoods gets you. iPhone via cable.
I'll keep, you want me to keep showing them while you get it up on your phone? Because this is my favorite part. So in here, you can search for the different categories that we came up with. And we just want to give a little note, because there are so many of you on here, that during this time and why we're having a beta is we want your opinion. So if you look at our categories and you're like, you're really missing one, or if you look at our group structure, we've got it divided into individual, small groups, static pair circle activities, and see something that you think is really pertinent, we are asking you to please send us an email at info@kikoriapp.com. We'll include that. It's also on our website. But we're really interested in what you guys think of what we're doing. So, Bryn, right now I'm just going through the filter.
All right. Yeah. So the magnifying glass, the filter, finding the stuff. And so that is our activities dashboard. Then let's click into, let's try a filter. So you can search for something by name. Oh, I'm gonna wait for it to catch up. Or you can go into here and go to materials, say, I've got a beach ball, apply, and see what happens. And say, oh, you know what? I love moonball. But what is diminishing moonball? Then you can click in here. This is our activity card. So at a quick glance, first go over, if you like the activity, you can favorite it, and it'll highlight that little heart, and then it'll automatically put it in a list of your favorites, or you can add it to a playlist. So it's gonna show you the playlist that I have. And I'm gonna say, you know what, I wanna add it to my COVID homeschool playlist. Because like many of you, we're all trying to balance teaching our kids. And even though we're educators, it's hard. So you can see at a glance a bunch of attributes about it, the energy, the time, sort of the focus, a quick overview. But then here we get into the instructions. We've got a prep And in this prep, it talks about the materials that you need. And then here's the side swipe. The play is our basic instructions that you're gonna need to play the game. It talks about the steps, the rules, but here's something really fun is that we throw in a fun factor. And the fun factor is something that we know as a facilitator that maybe just adds a little bit of spice. Something that you know how to do this that makes it a little bit different than just reading it out of a book. You can swipe to the side and you see up at the top how we're going through these learn, and here's where we're doing the reflect, connect, grow questions. There's a lot of experienced facilitators out there who don't need that help running a debrief, but there's some of us who maybe just need a little bit of prompting. And this is where we're gonna put in the questions that help follow that experiential learning cycle. So if you think about when you were very first starting to facilitate and you didn't know what to say, these are just example questions of how you can help lead that debrief based on that activity. Then the next slide is the variations. We know that there's endless variations to a lot of our activities. So this is a place where those can be listed, and then the source. The thing that's really important that we call out is that our industry, our group has a big oral tradition, and things change and get modified and tweaked all over time. So we want you to call us out on the sources. Some of the other cards, we're working on updating them, have a hyperlink right to our email. So if you know where credit should be given, we want that to happen, and you can do that by emailing us directly at info@kikoriapp.com. So back to the beginning of those instructions, you scroll down a little bit more, you see who it's submitted by, those sustainable development goals, which 21st century skills it fulfills, and then which of the SEL standards, and then within each of those categories, you can click on the things. So that is a general overview of an activity card based on a search. If you recall, we did a search based on having a beach ball. Another thing that I love is, here we'll click into our newest activity. Duck was submitted recently by a friend of ours, Drew Barr. He works in Petoskey, Michigan, over at Camp Daggett. And he does a whole bunch of great professional development in schools. And so this activity, which is probably not uncommon to you, if we just scroll down and scroll over so that we get to this variations card, Drew has listed all the variations that he has seen used or come up with to use in classrooms to teach different curriculum goals. So there's academic outcomes by using what has traditionally been just a very fun name game. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can see as you scroll down through it. But truly the sky is the limit. And that's what's so fun about our activities, right? And oh my gosh, I thought I turned my notifications off. So those are the ways that we can look at activities. The ways that you can save them is by, again, favoriting them with that heart. I'm gonna click back into it, wait for it to catch up, and adding it to a playlist. This time I'll add this one to my 4K fall adventure. So 4K kids learning names. I'll use it as a name game, not as a Spanish conjunction, adjective, verb, conjugating game. But then to see that, I'm going to click this little home button at the bottom of the screen. And you can see here all my favorited activities. But if I click on my profile, you can see here, this is where I am able to add my picture, my role, and edit my bio. And this then is what is published in that creator sliding scroll that we talked about a little bit ago. So that creator profile. So all of that happens right here in your own profile. Then this next square, if I click into my activities, you're gonna see that I've got a fake activity, I've got a test activity, and this is for my own viewing pleasure. So if there's something that you really want and it's not part of our database, be it your activity or somebody else's, you can put it in here and keep it as your activity and keep it private, and then add it into any of your playlists to round out your sequences. If it's something that you've been working on, you feel like it's really refined, that it's really effective, and you're so excited to share it with the community, you can make it public. So here you can see this activity that I was playing with my kids. I named it Chalk Challenge. We've been watching Lego Masters, but basically I took the structure of how they've been doing Lego Masters and gave it to my kids and told them to draw on the driveway with chalk. So I gave them a scene, then I gave them a twist about halfway through, and it was a really fun thing. So I felt that that was fun enough, and I was excited enough about it so that I shared it with people. And so the way that you can share things is when you click into it. I'm going to go and edit, and there's a little publish activity slider. You can see it right below energy level. And so there, if I click it off, it's going to ask me if I want to make this private. And so then I can switch it back to a private activity, and it's not going to show up in anybody else's app. But if I want to make it public, I click on publish the activity and then update the activity, and it'll give me a success screen. And what that means is it's then submitted to Kendra and I for us to review it, make sure that everything is safe, there's nothing dangerous or inappropriate, and just do some quick aligning edits. And then we would send it back to you to get your approval before pushing it out to the greater community. But that is a really cool thing for us to share what we've been doing. And like I said, when we make these activities, we can put them into playlists. This was one of my very, 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 very favorite ideas when we came up with the app, was creating a playlist. So I do programming anywhere from like half an hour all the way to multiple days. And, you know, combing through books or going through recipe cards or key rings to create your sequence always felt really clunky. And sometimes I'd lose my paper or I'd want to change something. But this way, what you can do is you can create a playlist. Ideally, it's something that optimizes group development, you know, starting with low level icebreakers, energizers, and you slowly build on trust and communication before you introduce those bigger initiatives. But if you're doing something that's, you know, anywhere from, you know, a couple hours to a couple of days, you can build out a separate playlist. So here's we're gonna go back. We'll go to my COVID homeschool playlist. And so you can see that I've thrown 7 activities together in a sequence. And that's what's going to work really great for me and my kids. And I love it. And so I'm going to share it and make it public. And so I do that. Sorry, we're going to go. That was if you wanted to add more to it. So if I want to make it public, I hit that edit button, and then I can make it public here. And hopefully then another family might feel like, oh yeah, that really resonates with me. Or when they get to that public playlist, they can look at it and say, you know what, that order just isn't gonna work for me. So if I say, hey, Kendra, you know that program that we're gonna lead later this week for those teachers in that professional development, what do you think of this playlist that I created? And she can say.
And I can say. Shouldn't we start with finger catch?
You want to start with finger catch? You don't like the check-in first?
I think finger catch is a really fun way to get everyone engaged before we make them think about themselves.
So then I can reorder the playlist by pushing on these 3 lines to the right. That's called a hamburger, and I can drag and drop all of the activities and rearrange my playlist and my sequence to get it where I like it. And then I can say done, and it'll save it, and I'll be like, oh, no, you know what? I feel like something's missing. So let's see, what else can I add? You know, and then you can go into your filters and you can search for something else to fill that gap if you feel like your playlist isn't rounded out. I see this being really great for bigger adventure organizations. If you're a administrative level coordinator, director, say at a challenge course or a camp, some of the stuff that we do at Manitowish, we'll work with big school groups. And if I want all of my facilitators to follow a sequence, because me and the administration at the school that is my client have worked out specific goals and outcomes that we want, say like all 200 students to meet, then I'm still gonna break the students up into groups of 10 to 12, but that I can push an optimized playlist that me and the administration has gone over, approved, that meets those goals and outcomes. I can push that then to my 10 or 12 facilitators and know that each facilitator has a little bit of a different style, but they're following the same general outline. And maybe there's room to plug and play a few other things, but if there's some activities that are just really important that they hit, then it's right there in their pocket to ensure continuity across the board. But it's also really great, like I've got a group of kids that I see every other day. And so sometimes I'm like, what did we do 2 days ago? Oh, I can check on the playlist and be like, this is what I have lined up. And some of you might meet with kids once a week and some of that. So I'm really excited about the playlists, and I hope you are too. So that is then how you publish and share, but let's create an activity together. So here we are in our create an activity. So this is a fun, engaging way that I want to ask you to be a participant. We're gonna do a thing called fast fingers. So this is gonna be similar to like an improv game or Mad Libs for creating an activity. If we're gonna take suggestions. So you're gonna type stuff out and I'm gonna do my best to type it in. So we're gonna go through, and I want somebody to come up with a crazy activity title. Come up with any name. So throw it in the chat box. Okay, hybrid animals.
We got a winner. Hybrid animals. I think that Lucinda beat you guys. Bees and fake birds. Bees and fake birds are totally could be hybrid animals.
All right. Next, I need an activity description. This is a short 1-sentence description of what the activity is so that you can see at a glance whether or not it's going to be applicable. Let's see. Act out your spirit animal.
That's the winner.
All right, next. All right, so here we'll do a time commitment. We're gonna make this a 20-minute activity. And acting out a spirit animal, I'm gonna give that a 3 energy. So then you click next. We're gonna say you can play this with all ages. However, this does break up a bunch of different age categories. So
oh no. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys, so she is creating this, and basically, yeah, she's gonna go through, and if you guys could just throw in the chat, we need we need 3 different steps. So step 1 on your mark, get set, go for how to play this. Step 1 is use blindfolds. Perfect. Step 2. Step 2 is decide, okay. Oh, so Bryn, the materials, did we get to materials?
Hang on. Zoom keeps crashing. I trust this computer. My passcode. All right, so here we are. We're at age range. Okay, we're gonna take a photo. So everybody, are you smiling? Smile now. Smile as big as you can.
Smile like your spirit animal. I'm a squirrel.
And we're gonna use this photo as cover. Okay, so our prep. What was the materials?
Blindfolds.
Of course. What else?
That's all I got. And then
okay,
just blindfolds.
Yep. No mouse traps. I'm on it. All right. Playing the activity.
Wait, we've got decide what your spirit animal will be. Oh. Think about 5 different animals and 5 different parts of the body.
Okay. 5. Yeah, that's definitely making a use of the hybrid.
Oh, I like that.
What else?
5 different animals, 5 different body parts. So you could have a group of 5.
All right. And there's some acting in there somewhere.
Well, group makes a rhythm. Oh my gosh. Group makes a rhythm and you must act out your animal dance. And each animal needs a unique sound.
Act / I'm gonna take some creative liberties here. Dance out your animal with sound. And then the group has to guess. Oh no. And then in the end, the group comes together to form one animal. All right.
Awesome. I love it. Oh, Amir, I'm sorry.
One animal. Ta-da. All right, so that's our play. What's our learning for the activity? Our what, so what, now what? What are some good debrief questions?
Bye, Ken. Vocabulary, sounds, and movement. So what vocabulary? Oh, I love that. How can you be vulnerable?
All right. I love being silly. Kinesthetic awareness. All right.
I think for the sake of time, because we
yeah,
spent an hour,
we're gonna save this chat. Yeah, we'll save the chat and then we'll fill it in later. Then there's a spot for variations and source. We go to next. This is gonna build all three of those outcomes.
If you have ideas, keep putting them in. Perfect.
Yeah, keep putting them into that chat and we'll add them in later.
We'll turn them into a master activity.
Yeah, this is a circle activity. You can do whole groups, small groups. You could break it up. You can do 50 people. This could be an opener, a closer, focuses on communication. It could be an action song. As you go through, you can do these attributes. Here we said blindfolds. There's my blindfolds. Oh, I forgot we were doing this blindfolded.
We'll have to that one.
Yeah, so we'll call this an energizer for now. And then when you click into here, you know, depending on how you frame it, all of this stuff can be applicable. So, you know, spend some time thinking about it. And if as you're creating this activity, you feel like you might get distracted and you're not ready for that, you can click the next and the next and the next. You can go through this until you get to that create activity and create it. And then it'll save it to your device and you can go back in and edit it. One of the most frustrating things for me so far is that we're talking to our developers and we're working on fixing it as a user experience issue. But if you get partway through building an activity and you get distracted and you close the app, it does not automatically save yet. So if you feel like you might get pulled away, the easiest thing to do, because we don't have the auto save features built in, is to fill out what you know, what's easy, click through it, save the activity to your app, and then you can go back through and edit and refine and make it nice and pretty and useful. And then it's up to you if you're gonna share it with the rest of us so that we can play with it. So that is everything we wanted to show you within the app. And I'm gonna go back to my slides. And because everything kept crashing, I'm gonna, oh, here, wait, if I go here. I'm an external processor and I talk out loud when I'm doing the things. So, is it sharing?
Yep.
I don't, oh, shoot, then I stopped it. Share screen, sorry friends, here we go.
You're doing wonderful, Bryn. This will be very memorable.
Yes.
Your computer only crashed twice.
Right. Okay, so here we are, back reviewing those key features. That's what we showed you. So overall, did you like what you saw? If you're interested in helping us take Kikori to production, something that we are offering is a lifetime membership for $149. It is a limited time only. Right now we've made a commitment to continue to offer the beta for free through the end of July. So knowing that people are out of work, families are home for maybe longer than any of us anticipated this was going to happen. So we want to make this free and available. And again, this is a beta, but if you do buy that lifetime membership, you'd be grandfathered in once we go to production. So lifetime membership doesn't end ever. The limited time is how long we're offering it, not a limited lifetime. So lifetime membership is for maybe the rest of my lifetime, your lifetime. That's a little bit ambiguous, but we don't want to take it away from you. Again, we're inviting you backstage. You guys are our VIPs. You are our community. You've helped us make us who we are as facilitators and educators, and we want to share this with you. We want you to help us make it great because this is a community-driven app. We have such an oral tradition. We all influence and make each other grow to be better because we care about our participants, our clients. We want to help them connect with themselves, with each other, with the planet. And so this is something that we're offering. So the next, so you can sign up on our website. We want to just say thank you to everybody that's believed in us, that's sat down on calls with us, that's looked through things, that's contributed through advising, through just hand-holding, through encouraging, smiles. It's amazing to see this idea really on our phones and to see people that we haven't even met before engaging with us. I can't tell you how validating and encouraging that is. So get in touch with us, please. We're on Facebook. We are on Instagram, LinkedIn. Our email address is info@kikoriapp.com. Our website is kikoriapp.com. You can find us individually on any of these platforms as well, but we would love, love, love to hear from you. So.
Awesome. You want to show people how to do test flight?
Oh yeah. So if you have a minute and you want to stay and see how.
Maybe have Sherry talk first, and then if people want to stay. Yeah.
Thank you. Bryn and Kendra, thank you so much. This is such a great and beautiful app, and I think you will probably get more activities than you ever thought possible in the next couple of days with all the great people who attended this webinar. Thanks everyone for being here. AEE is working hard during this time to help everyone out and let us know what we can do to help you. We have our resource library and all of our webinars online at www.ae.org. You can go to our website and check those webinars out in the resource library, as well as become a member of AEE. And we will be looking forward to hearing more from Kendra and Bryn and Kikori in the upcoming months, and hopefully be seeing everyone sooner rather than later. So thank you all for being here.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys what the process looks like if you are an iPhone user and are getting the app through Test Flight. Test Flight, again, is Apple's platform that launches beta versions of applications. And so here we go. Okay, I'm gonna stop share. And then I'm going to close some of this. I'm gonna share this.
Okay, so yeah, so everyone who has an iPhone, everyone who has Android, you should be able to go into the Google Play Store. If you haven't, then send us an email at info@kikoriapp.com, and we will try to figure and we'll work it out with you. But everyone who has Android, they're the easy guys. And the iPhone is more finicky.
Okay. Hey, computer, don't freak out. Okay, so here, I'm gonna move everybody around because here's what I want to show you. Oh, wait, stop share. Make small. Share screen. Noah, where is the thing about the audio?
When you hit share screen down at the bottom left.
Okay, I need help.
Chief Ellen, that's what we're going to show you right now. You should have received an email from Test Flight
There.
that we're going to show you how to actually use that and get that onto and get Kikori onto that email.
Okay, I just had to make sure that the audio came through. So here's.
So if it's at this point, if you have an iPhone and you have not received a Test Flight email from us, then send us an email at info@Kikori app and we'll help you. You can put your email address in the chat also, or send it to me personally.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Downloading the Kikori beta app. You're going to open up your email. You're looking for an email from Test Flight. If it's not in your regular email, check your junk or your other inbox. It's coming from Apple, and you're just going to click on the link. So it'll open up an invite for you to download Test Flight. It'll take you right to the App Store where you can download. You can see the download is starting to progress. Test Flight is Apple's beta testing platform, and everything will run off of there. So you're going to click open once it downloads, and it'll talk about sending you notifications and alerts, and those are going to alert you when we have a new version of the Kikori beta app. It'll say that you don't have anything available to test. You're going to switch back to the email screen where you'll get your code. So go back to that screen, double tap, and highlight the offer code, hit the copy, and then go back over to your Test Flight screen, double tap, and paste the offer code into the window. When you click redeem, it will log your email to our beta user dashboard. And here we go. We're downloading. We're halfway there. And once you get Kikori on your phone, you can open it up and it'll take you to our welcome screen. And it talks you through what you're testing. And how we're going to do beta testing is you're going to take a screenshot of something that you feel is a bug or is glitchy, maybe isn't working right. And once you take that screenshot, you're going to email it to info@kikoriapp.com. Then here's your regular login screen or sign up screen. And you can go ahead and register yourself as a beta tester. You'll show up in our database. My husband Noah is signing up here, and he actually used the app for the first time with a group of Cub Scouts the other night. He was in charge of 9 6-year-olds and found an activity.
For the record, this was a video that we made before COVID. So he wasn't violating social distancing. He wasn't with the Cub Scouts in real life. This was like in February. So
Patrice, what kind of phone do you have?
So I'm gonna stop sharing, and we're all gonna be here. So, all right.
Zoe, what type of phone do you have? And you guys, I put everyone in here if you put your email. So if you check again, display Zoe, could Zoe tell me?
So some of the things that Zoe's in the chat. Some of the things that we've had issues with is if you are a G Suite with a company. I know the school that I work for, their school emails were not working. They needed to enter their personal Gmail accounts. So if you are part of a bigger G Suite, we're running into some issues for Android. So the way that we enter in all of the emails, we have one website that does it for Android, and then one website that does it for iPhone. So it's important for us to know which type of operating system that you have, so we know where to enter your email. Again, a lifetime membership. Oh, the option to purchase the lifetime membership. We're guaranteeing the option to purchase the lifetime membership at that pricing until the end of July.
Kevin, can you say if you have an iPhone or Android? You guys, those people who've had trouble getting on, are you able to get on? Have you been able to?
I know, it's like talking to the void.
Bryn, there's a couple of questions in the question and answer.
Oh, I'd love to do those.
Take a look at that.
Okay. So the Kelly, again, the Beta Believer lifetime membership. Really, we're trying to raise money to help pay for putting the app into production and then maintenance costs. So really what that's helping us do is get this to production and offset some of what Kendra and I have invested. So we are currently 100% volunteers for our own company. We haven't been paid, but this lifetime membership, we're offering that before this goes to production for that pricing, and it would get you into this special group. We've talked about being able to give VIP feedback, but knowing that after July that you would always have the app available to you. So it's a special thing that is available for early adopters in this backstage pass sort of place that we're in, where we're still in the beta phase. So Chris asked how we're different than Playmeo or Training Wheels. Did that question get addressed?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. That was during a crash. So I answered that live and it's done. All right. These are fun little webinar features. Feel free, if you're still hanging out and you want to put a question in the Q&A, I'd love to address those. Where can we process the payment? It's via PayPal on our website. So our website is www.kikoriapp.com.
I'm putting it in right now. Right here, guys.
All right.
I'm interested.
But yeah, while we're hanging out, go ahead, ask me any questions, or I can start telling y'all my favorite jokes.
We can tell people that we're organizing some stuff. So if you filled out the form and you have activities or you checked any of those boxes, that we're working on that this weekend to get information out to you guys on how to make it a little bit easier than, for example, filling out activities on the app. Mayan, let us know if you have an Android or iPhone.
So yeah, we're working on organizing people who, it's been so amazing to have people who are willing to help us get this thing off the ground. Everyone has different skill sets and we're working on organizing those. But there is a form on our website that talks about how you can contribute if you're feeling called to contribute. And we promise that we have following up with you on our to-do list. Our to-do lists are long, and so please be patient with us, but that doesn't mean we're not working hard because we are. So.
And yeah, Adam, we are working together actually with some UNH students right now. We have 30 activities that will be virtual, and we're adding on a tag so you can filter by virtual activities, and we're also writing it right in the title of the activity. So that is one of the things that we know is super important right now. And if anyone has those activities, we'd love to share them because it's a huge need for teachers.
Kelly, that makes me so happy. I can't see you, but I'm glad that you're here.
Colin, can you send me your email? Mayan, do you have an Android or iOS? Sorry, Colin. Colin, do you have an Android or iOS?
Oh, there we go.
Is that Android? Okay.
All right, we're gonna stop recording. That's fantastic. Thanks everybody who hung out this long. That's amazing.